Hey Blossoms, it's Sherry Blossom. Welcome back to Sherry Blossom Beauty. So I know you're looking like, who is this with all this big hair? It's me. Wanted to try something different. I'm absolutely loving this hair, this style. If you want to know the stylist that I used and you live in the New York area, let me tell you, one of the dopest hairstylists straight out of Brooklyn, New York. Her link is below, Miss Donna Howard, www.facebook.com/Donna Howard. Definitely check her out. Let me just do a spin for you guys so you guys can check out the style. Love it. Love it, love it. I love it. It's so bouncy and free flowing, and then I got the invisible part going on. Check that out. Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, enough of feeling myself. Now, to get down to business, our tutorial for today will be on Maybelline FIT. Yes, this foundation has been talked about and raved about all across YouTube, all across the makeup forums. So, I'm going to show you, my brown skin divas, how to make this work for you, because this is the darkest color. Yes, I know you're looking like, this is very similar to, I would say, Hazelnut of Black Opal, as you can see. Very similar to Hazelnut. Is probably a tad darker, but yeah, and I actually wear Hazelnut. So I'm going to show you how to make this work for you. And just for giggles, I guess, I also got 320, which is super light. It's weird because 320 is darker than 325, but 325 is after this one, but before this one. But that one's lighter. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how they did that. But I'm going to show you how to make this work for you. This is a liquid foundation, which, don't fret, we can work it out. You know, I love my cream foundations and my stick foundations, but I'm going to show you guys how to make this work for you. So, I'm using my primer, Makeup Forever HD primer, and I'm just using that one because that's the one that's out. I'm going to clip my hair back a little. Just a little. This side is fine. And I'm going to apply this generously to my T-zone. Okay. I'm going to get my beauty blender because you guys know I love my beauty blender. And yes, I have no makeup on and my eyebrows aren't even filled in. But don't worry about that, okay? Don't worry about that, guys, please. So, I do not like that there's no pump. You just twist off the cap and then that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do, my handy dandy canvas or palette, use the back of my hand, just turn it upside down like that, and then right side up again. And whatever little bit is on the back of my hand, that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to take my beauty blender, get a little on it, and just stipple it all over my face. There we go, Blossoms. Let me zoom in for you guys. Probably right about there. See? So remember, I didn't use a lot. I used a very little, and I just stippled it. If you want to use more to really get like a super full coverage, you can. I did about medium coverage, actually. Because you can still kind of see a little discoloration from a little micro scars there, and a tiny bit there, and a little tiny bit there. But what I like to do, remember I said we're going to make this work for us because this is a little light. Let me zoom out. It does blend, but you can see just a slight lightness to it. What I'm going to do is now take my powder foundation, and that's how you correct foundation that may at times be too light for you. I'm using pressed powder from Inglot powder brush, and now I'm going to go over that foundation, and I'm going to set this liquid foundation right now. And you can already see how, check out this cheek and this cheek. Enough. This is how you make the Maybelline FIT Foundation work for you. So, for you, those of you who are my complexion, if it is a tad light, you can't even tell now. It absolutely blends. Look how amazing that looks. And this is not an HD camera where it just makes everything look all amazing. Look at that. What you do is, like I said, you build on this. You use your sponge, you can use your stippling brush, you can use your fingers, but I would definitely recommend a sponge, definitely a beauty blender. You stipple it on your face first. You build it. You blend it in. You check. You look to see if that's the coverage you want. If not, you add a little more. Same thing. You stipple it all around your face. You blend it in. Check. See if it's something that you like. If not, you add a little more. There's no rule book as to how much you can add, how you're going along. I would prefer you put, look at this. There's nothing left on my hand. I used everything. What you don't want to do is pour too much and then soak your sponge in it, so your sponge saps up all the foundation and you're basically wasting it because it's not going on your face, it's going inside the sponge. They have pores, they absorb everything. Be very careful, okay? So I would recommend wetting the sponge first so it's already filled with moisture, so that way it doesn't just suck up the foundation in case you use too much. So when you put your foundation on your hand, use a little. Stipple it, okay? Blend it in. Don't just stipple every little thing until literally you've plastered your entire face with makeup and then you try to blend. That's too much. Stipple it. It doesn't have to, you're still going to see skin patches. You blend it. As you blend it down, you're spreading out the foundation. It's going to cover every little crevice where you didn't stipple the foundation on, okay? And when you get the amount of coverage that you want, some like sheer, this can be sheer, medium, or full coverage. It's all depending upon you, okay? So I use medium coverage first because I know I'm setting with powder. So what you want to be very aware of is if you do full coverage foundation, be careful not to cake on the powder because it's going to make your foundation look very cakey, okay? So we've stippled the foundation on, we've blended it out, and then if it's a tad lighter, this is how you can correct any foundation that may be too light on any skin tone. You take a darker powder to set. That's what I did. If you guys remembered when I showed you the comparison, it was a tad lighter. It wasn't bad. I could have kept it like that, but I wanted it to be more natural. Look at this. You can't even, it looks exactly the color of my neck. All I did was use a darker setting foundation powder. That's it. Then you can take the lighter color, the next lighter color for my brown skin women, 320, remember I use 355 all over the face, this is the darkest color, and use it as concealer and set with a lighter powder. I just chose not to, I don't even know why, because I planned on it but I just didn't, but that's okay, don't worry. You can do it the same way, a little goes a long way. Use that ring finger, pat it under the eye very lightly, step back, check to see if it's as highlighted or as concealed as you want your bags to be. It is liquid though, so for those of us that do have darker under eye circles and darkness, you may just have to just stick with the concealer and you can't use the foundation. But for those of us that have very light, I do have lighter. I have bags under my, not bags, but dark circles underneath my eyes. And even a little bag right just about there. I think everyone does, you know, I don't really consider the bag a problem at all, but the darkness just a little bit because it does come down. So I do conceal that at times, but I don't need a lot of concealing. So you can use the liquid for those of us that don't need too much, but if you need a little more, concealer is fine. And just set it with the lighter powder. And if you want to highlight, go right ahead. I just tend to sometimes highlight my eye and right here, and then everything else is, you know, my skin complexion. And look, it looks absolutely amazing. Look at this foundation, and I'm coming super close. You see that? Your pores are almost like invisible. This foundation is absolutely awesome for those of you who would like a high quality foundation at a drugstore price. So $8 for 1 ounce is not bad at all, okay? This is Maybelline's Fit Me. I used color 355 all over my face. For my foundation to set, I used my Inglot pressed powder in the darkest color, which is 31, okay? You can use any powder that you want. To set, I used the Eve Pro Concealer Wheel, the Salmon Concealer, this one. And to set it, I used a lighter colored foundation, my Graftobian powder foundation, okay? So I'm just telling you the names of the products, but you can use any powder, and look how it works. This is all I have on my skin. I don't even have eyeshadow. My eyebrows aren't even filled in, but you always want to start with a smooth, even toned canvas. And I'm telling you, Maybelline Fit is great. If you guys loved Revlon Colorstay and you were a fan of that, this reminds me a lot of Revlon Colorstay, but a lot lighter and smoother. I really like this foundation, guys. I would definitely recommend it, and I think you guys should run out to your local Walgreens, CVS. I got mine from Rite Aid, Dwayne Reed, and check out Maybelline Fit. They are flying off the shelves, I'm telling you. So I made it work for my brown skin sisters, those of us who may have felt that this color was too light. I'm telling you, check it out. It's only $8. Just check it out, because I'm dark skin. I consider myself a dark skin sister, and I made the darkest color, look at this, work for me, okay? And I didn't have to set it with a lot of powder. If you notice in my other videos, I tell you that a lot of African American women are lighter in the center of our faces and just darker around the perimeter. So don't always go by just your cheeks. Right here is usually the darkest, as you can see. All this, the center of the face, that part is usually the lightest. And notice when I move my hand, dark. You see that? That's exactly how a lot of our skin complexions are. So this may actually work for the center of your face, and you set it with a darker powder around the perimeter, exactly as I did, okay? So you don't look too washed out. So guys, Maybelline Fit, I made it work. I'm loving it. On top of my hair, oh man, you can't tell me nothing. Diva. Check out my blog, www.cherryblosombeauty.blogspot.com. Thanks Down Up for my hair. Thanks Maybelline for the foundation. Thanks Inglot. Thanks Graftobian. Thanks Eve Pearl. Amazing. Loving it. www.cherryblosombeauty.blogspot.com. Until next time, later blossoms.